Hey, everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I am so excited today. I am so blessed, honored, excited, enthused to be here with my buddy, Bryan Rivers, program manager for relocation at First Tech Federal Credit Union. Bryan, what's up, man?
Ben, how are you, man? I'm so happy to be here. This is great.
Dude, I know, man. We've been working on this for a while. It's finally here. Like, I'm so psyched right now. I'm checking the LinkedIn, make sure everything's good. Where in the world are you right now, Bryan?
I'm just outside of Sacramento, a little small farm town with about 2,500 people in it called Wheatland, California. And yeah, man, I'm at home with I got some family that I hope doesn't barge in behind me, but yeah, things are good. It's sunny out here, probably about 65 degrees, and earlier today I was wearing shorts.
65, dude. We got 65 inches coming here. I mean, it's snowing like crazy outside. I got to hit the road tomorrow. I'm driving to Texas tomorrow. I'm about to get snowed in before I hit the road. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, if you're watching, thank you for tuning in right now. It's gonna be a fun show. We got a contest we're kicking off. Okay. Big deal, big deal. Hit that like button, hit that applause button, give Bryan a warm round there. Throw in a comment here. I want to know who you are, where you are, what you're up to. If it's after 5 o'clock where you're at, let me know what you're sipping on. Jamie Massler, buddy, I ain't seen you in a minute. What's the weather in Mississippi? Windy. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it, man.
What's
Hey,
up,
Jamie.
Jamie?
Good to see you, buddy. Stacy Huff. Hi, Bryan and Ben. Happy Friday. What's up, Stacy? Stacy the glue. Janet, excited for today's show. Janet, I'm excited for you. You know what? I was writing up on our About Us page on loveandrelo.com, which we just launched. Don't judge me, guys. We did our best, okay? It's a nonprofit endeavor here, okay? But I was writing about the team, and I was getting a little choked up. I think I'm too emotional. I think I'm too overtly emotional. I don't know. I need to get that checked out. Alan, it's Friday. Happy to be checking in all the way from Germany. It's freezing here. Yes, Alan. It is.
What's up,
Winter.
Alan?
What up, Alan? Alan's been checking in regularly. We got to get Alan like a badge or something. Valerie, happy Friday. Ben and Bryan Deluxe listening in from Houston. H-Town. What's up, Val? Leslie Bassford, happy Friday.
Love Leslie. What's up, Leslie?
Ingrid.
Partner in crime.
You know Ingrid, right? How do you know Ingrid? Who's Ingrid?
Ingrid Van Veen, a very special person. And she actually works with us now. And she's been here, I think, a little over a year. But I met Ingrid back when she was running the Western region for DwellWorks. She had many consultants that were on her team. And I'd go up and down the West Coast presenting to them and kind of informing them a little bit about what we do for some of their clients. So Ingrid and I kind of became teammates, so to speak, back then. And I think we were at Top Golf last year, and we were talking about an opportunity here. And she's now part of our team, and we're happy to have her.
That's awesome. Hey, Ingrid, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Leslie, Santa Cruz, California. Shout out, Surfs Up. Do people really say Surfs Up in California? Is that a thing? Like, really?
I see it more on shirts than anything. Shirts and hats, Surfs Up. But yeah, I don't say it. Not in the Sacramento Valley. You're not saying as much.
Rob, how's the surf in Boston? What's up, buddy? Let's see. Maria, Bryan is awesome. Cheers.
Maria. What's up, Maria?
Nice. Look at this. It's great. Hit that like button. Throw your comments in there if you got questions for Bryan. We're going to talk about banking. We're going to talk about, expat banking. We're going to talk about wine. We're going to announce a really cool contest today, which is like really awesome. And I gotta shout out First Tech Federal Credit Union as well. Before I do that, Johnny Dry Heat checking in, Sunny and 75 here to see two of my favorite people in the biz, good people, and to learn from Bryan too. Good job. John's such a cool dude.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, good dude. Let's see here. We got, oh man, this is great. We got some great people checking in. Zach checking in from Amelia Island. Raining, huh? Wow, man. Let's see here. What else? Joanna, what's up? Keep it interesting or I'll fall asleep. A thinly veiled threat. Okay, Joanna, I see you. Okay. Out in Sweden. That's Tanya. Happy Friday. And Looking forward to Love and Reload. What's up, Tanya?
Hey, Tanya.
This is great. Wonderful. Jamie, glad to catch the show. Corporate housing, getting some history here. Oh, you got a little merger? Okay. All right. Watch out there, Jamie. All right. What? Wine, my favorite subject, Janet says. She's paying attention. That's great. That's awesome. What kind of wine, Leslie says. All right, real quick, we're going to do an audience poll, okay? Because we're going to talk about wine. Wine's going to be a big part of today's show. That's my teaser. I want you to put in what is your favorite varietal of wine? Throw it in the comments. Let us know. My dad shows up. What's up, Dad? Love you, man. T-Town in the house. Yeah. Throw that in the comments. I want to know your favorite varietal of wine. Throw it in there. What's your favorite grape? Yeah. Let's do this off jump. Okay. Let's just get into this promotion while everybody's tuning in. Hit that like button, by the way. So Bryan, you've been a huge supporter of me and the show for a long time. Like, I remember the first time you kind of like reached out to me, and honestly, Bryan, can I be completely candid with you? You know what I thought the first time you reached out to me?
What's that?
You like wanted to connect, have a call or something like that. I was like, sweet, new corporate client. I was like, because I didn't know you. I'm like, oh man, maybe they're a bank and they want to move some people. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. And back when I was at university, and I got on the call with you, and then turns out you weren't a prospective client. But then it was even cooler because you were a really great guy, and I didn't have to worry about trying to sell you something. I was like, this is cool. He's just a great dude, And we've just been staying in touch,
Yeah.
You've been a supporter, and you've been it means the world, man. And you and I kind of came up with this really cool idea to kind of do something through the show, and we're going to announce it here. And do you want to tell people, or should I tell people, or how do you want to do this?
I think you should tell people, but I think what I'd like to say prior to that is, I appreciate so much the content you've helped provide to this community and this group. And with what's gone on this last year, I really think that the stuff that you brought and the content you're bringing, the guests that you have on, I'm speaking from a perspective of somebody that's a little bit newer to global mobility. I've been in and around it for a couple of years now, which is nothing compared to some of the folks that have helped me and that I consult with when I need it. But it's been a really great thing that you've done, and that's why I am a fan, and we're happy to partner. But we're very excited about this promotion, and I would love for you to kick it off to talk about it.
All right. Well, first, before I kick it off, I'm gonna give the company a plug because y'all are sponsoring this. So we got to give First Tech Federal Credit Union some love because you guys are making this all possible here. So, Stacy, will you throw that ad up there real quick? I'm going to do a quick read. First Tech is your financial partner for relocation banking solutions. We help ease the burden of your employees' move with relocation products and services to ensure their journey is financially seamless. So thank you to First Tech Federal Credit Union. Thank you to you, Bryan. Today, we are going to kick off a promotion we are called 8 Weeks of Giving. Okay, it's the 8 Weeks of Giving. Christmas is over, but it's still the season to give. Love and Reload is all about giving back to communities, giving back to you guys out there. It's all about making sure that the value that y'all receive from this is huge. Okay, and so I had this idea, and then Bryan reached out and he's like, I want to do something impactful. I'm like, me too. And I was like, I like wine. He's like, me too. So what we're going to do here is First Tech Federal Credit Union is going to sponsor this 8 Weeks of Giving. Okay, we're going to run a contest where it's really a drawing, if you will. It's not a contest. There's no feats of strength or anything like that, right? All you got to do is register on the website. Go down to the loveandreload.com/community. Okay, go there right now. All right, go to loveandreload.com/community. You just put in your information. Hey, it's a website we just put up there for the purpose of this. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a super awesome website, okay? But it's going to do the trick. I promise you that, okay? It's secure. The Russians haven't hacked it. Just go there, put in your info, okay? And every week, we are going to draw a winner, and we're going to send you a bottle of wine. How cool is that?
Sounds cool.
I mean, I like it.
Is this every day on Friday, Ben? What day of the week have we decided?
We're going to do every Friday. That's a great point. Thank you. Just you be the FAQ guy, okay? So I'm going to try to remember everything, and then you ask me questions that I obviously should have covered. Yes, every Friday we are going to kick off our show with announcing who gets a free bottle of wine. And let's see, we got some people here checking in, telling us what their favorite bottle is or what their favorite grape is. Pinot Noir, hands down. Okay, all right. What do you think about that choice there, Brian?
I'm a fan of Pinots, to be honest with you. I'd say they're probably more of my go-to when I am going to consume some wine.
Yeah, yeah. You say when I am going to consume some wine because Alan's a single malt fan. You're not playing the game, Alan. Although those German Rieslings are nice. Valerie, Cabernet Sauvignon, nice. Val, let's see here. What's your favorite grape or your favorite wine, Brian?
I would have to say it's probably going to be the Pinot Noir. Correct.
Pinot Noir. Okay, it seems
Yeah.
to be carrying the day. Barolo, Tanya says. Interesting.
I'm not familiar with Barolo.
Is that an Italian varietal, Tanya? I think she's showing off how fancy she is.
I think so. It would make sense, right?
She's a bit cultured. Yeah. Yeah. Barolo. Wife says Pinot Grigio, mid ultra for me. Thanks, Jamie. I love it, man. Vinny, two of my faves. Love you, man. Vinny. Hey, we got to get Vinny. What do you think about this idea? Brian, I'm just going to throw this out there, okay? Just a couple words. Vinny Valverde, cooking show.
Oh, yeah.
All day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Home run.
Oh, no. Vinny, he actually became a mixologist for a PRC, Portland, I think it was PRC Relo Council Christmas event, and he had, I believe, his kids there, and he was all dressed up, and I mean, that guy goes all in. And yeah, that I'm 100% in agreement. He should do.
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna do that on Love and Relo. I got him to commit to that yesterday during a half.
Nice.
So we're gonna make that happen. Rob Zeitz, just like the answer to most global mobility questions, my answer for my favorite wine is it depends. But an Argentine Malbec with a New York strip steak is my favorite combo. Okay, Rob, that's like an Air Inc. answer right there. It's like a very well thought out, researched answer. Valerie McKenzie, Malbecs are my second. There's Jason Rollins checking in. Tanya shouting out First Tech. What's up? This is great. Alan saying they're my new favorite bank. He's opening a checking account right now.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, this is great. Look at this. Grable team loves First Tech. The team's hands down is amazing.
Thanks, Maria. Maria's great. Maria and her team up there, Stephanie Castro, we've been partners with them for a while. They're fans of ours and we're fans of theirs, and they're really good people. Good
organization there, yeah. Stacy's digging this 8 weeks of giving. Yes, let's see. Vinny, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Yes, Montepulciano. Yes, no, I know this wine actually. The Montes are delicious. You know who put me on these? Chris Lagerman. I hope he's watching right now. Chris Lagerman, Vino Nobile. Yes, Vinny. Montepulciano. They're made from the same grapes, I believe, as like an Amarone, I want to say. But they haven't done the Ripasso process or something like that. I don't know.
You're starting to intimidate me, Ben, because you're dropping names and terms, and I think I'm a little bit more aligned with Alan with the the Scotch or the single malt. So you're starting to intimidate me a little bit.
There we go, John Amarone. See, yep, that guy knows what's up. Tanya saying Barolo is a red denominazione di origine controllata di Granatita. Wine produced, and I just said it real fast. That's what you got to do in Italian. You just say it real fast.
It was impressive.
And then just like skim over. Wine produced in the northern Italian region of Piedmont, made from the Nebbiolo grape, and is often described as one of Italy's greatest wines. But you cut and paste that from Wikipedia, Tanya?
Very good intel right there.
This is so great. This is wonderful. Like, forget mobility. All the best stuff is like coffee and wine. Honestly, the best shows we do. Europeans drink Prosecco. Interesting. Tanya's loving the Amarone. Yep. Rob, see, practical. That's what I like. Favorite wine? Next one.
The next one.
Janet's asking if she's allowed to enter. Listen, Janet, you can either pick the wine or you can pick the winner, okay? But you can't do both, Janet. All right? Can't do both. Look at this. Tanya has some expensive wine taste. John, rosé all day as he chills poolside. I love it. This is fantastic. Well, this is fun, man. This is great. I think everybody's super pumped right now about this eight weeks of giving. You know, we're going to do one wine, at least one wine a week. You guys were super generous at First Tech Federal Credit Union. We might be able to do more. I don't know. I got to check and see how crazy Janet, how extravagant Janet gets on the wine.com. But I'm pretty pumped about this. Okay. Enough about wine. Enough about wine. Okay, because we can't. We gotta be serious. We're serious relocation professionals now. Let me get my very important papers here. Let's talk about some business here. But no, Bryan, tell me a little bit about how you got into this industry, because you were saying like how you're kind of relatively new. I met you about a year ago. How did you get into the biz, man?
You know, First Tech is a credit union that works primarily, a lot of our membership base is tech employees. And as a result, we have some pretty long relationships with tech companies, and they have a need to move talent globally. So we came up with a program internally many years ago that we kind of kept to ourselves and kept on the back burner. So internally, I was on the front line of that program, working with some of these transferees, helping them, everything financially speaking. We're a credit union that kind of can encompass many different avenues of finance, and it helped them with before they've left their country, and when they get here in a year or two later, and after they've been established. And after about 6 years of working on the front line, we decided to really kind of expose this program more. And I think I attended my first BAM conference in 2015. I think William Taylor was wearing a Batman suit.
I was at that BAM.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was the first time I'd ever been exposed, and common sense says there's an industry like this out there. I had no idea how big and how dependent it was. And then to go to that BAM conference, it was eye-opening for me. So we decided to kind of take it to the next level, talk about it a little bit more, bring it to the front burner. In the last couple of years at my position at First Tech, we've been doing that, trying to get the word out and align our program internally.
Nice. So you've been in this business 5 years, and what I'm kind of interested about, because we're both biz dev guys, right? I mean that's our day job. It's job one. I mean, I know we're more than that. Sometimes we get a bad rap, but I mean, that is our gig, and a lot of people that are watching are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about, like, as a person who maybe your experience is still relatively fresh in your mind, even though it has been probably 5 years now. What do you think, like, when you came into the industry, what was your first kind of impression, of this industry?
It was very, very, my first impression was that it was very close. Everyone is very close in this industry. There's a lot of moving around within the industry. If you look at people's LinkedIns or their resumes, people have had exposure to a lot of different parts, sometimes corporate side, sometimes supplier side. But more than anything, from folks that we work with in the destination services realm, or the RMC realm, the corporate realm, everyone's very, very passionate about their point in a transferee's journey, wherever that point is. Everyone kind of plays a role in it. And this is what I explain to my team, is that this is a huge life event for a lot of people. I mean, there's very few other life events that measure up to moving your family from one country to another. So it's daunting, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's scary. So the part that we play and the opportunity we have as these professionals in that journey, if you do it right, there's a lot to be said for it. You can really make it good for some people. But I think that, to answer your question, Ben, a lot of these folks really are passionate about the transferee. They're very passionate about the experience, and that's what I think is so cool about this industry.
I feel like this is a business that it's easy to find a purpose in, if that makes sense. Like if you're like a person that likes to have purpose in what you do every day, which is like the way I'm wired, I think this is an industry that you could really gravitate towards, because, to your point, you're you're a part of a person's life during the most tumultuous, but also most exciting potentially time in
Yeah.
their life. I mean, new gig, new country, new opportunity. I mean, that's life changing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
an inflection point in some families for generations.
Yeah.
You know,
No, you're 100% right. And I've never moved my family to another country, but I have moved to the other side of the state or the other side of town, and that in itself is such a big bite. So just like you said, if things do go wrong in a move like this, an international move, it can be catastrophic. So I think everyone's on the same page, wanting to make this experience really, really seamless for these folks. They got a lot going on, from everything from their job and learning new languages and figuring out the money system here and where Starbucks is, when they get to their new destination. So there's a lot of things, big and small, that are important
language,
for them.
money, Starbucks. Those are basically the three
Yeah.
things you need to know, right? No, but so real quick, we got some comments coming in here. Leave your comments, leave your questions. We're going to get into kind of some of the finer points of the finance, the expat finance stuff. I've got some mortgage questions as well, as a person who's also relocating for I don't know why I'm doing this right now. I'm looking in the rest of my basement. Right, it's all filled with boxes. Normally my camera's faced the other way. It's a total disaster right now. But here we got a couple comments coming in. What's up, Ray, out in Vancouver? Yes, Tanya's looking forward to the cooking show with Vinny. 100%. Val's on it also. Vinny's changing the subject back to the Brunello. That's cool too. Tanya was at that BAM also. That was my first BAM, my last BAM. Tanya spoke at that BAM. Tanya, oh my gosh, this is
See, I didn't know Tanya then, so I don't really remember that, but I didn't know Tanya. I didn't know her then. But I'll tell you, it was the first BAM I went to, and it was the last event that I went to in 2020 was the BAM that they just got in. And it was a great event, but
just
it was
got
right
it.
when all this stuff was going on. Yeah.
Guys, I remember you guys were bumping elbows, doing the kid and play foot touch thing. I mean, yeah, that was something. Johanna says the passion for the industry and the client is what brings us all together, and that's also what I love about this industry. Johanna, you're awesome. Annette, coming to see you in Dallas. The move to the other side of the state still counts as relocation. Yeah. So, okay, quick personal question. So I'm moving to Dallas, where Annette is. Okay, as she says, greetings from the DFW. I'm moving to Dallas in about 3 weeks. Okay, and I got a selfish question here. I need a mortgage. Like I'm gonna rent for a year and then I'm gonna buy once I figure out everything. But I need a mortgage, but I'm self-employed now. What do I do, man?
Well, I think you be honest about that, and I think you apply. And they're going to, depending on who you go with, and if it's us, they're going to look at a bigger picture than the decision you've made in the last couple weeks. But credit unions are actually, they're not for profit. As a result, you're going to get fairly decent rates at credit unions on all different products, from lending to deposit products. A lot of the profits that we make go back into our base of membership to help with those rates. But we are, protective. We are smart, and we don't necessarily, we didn't really jump on the subprime train many years ago. But yeah, you have a history, and you're in the industry. It might be a little bit more risky for somebody like you, Ben. But I think that's the job of an underwriter, is to look at that whole profile and look at the risk involved with extending you a loan.
So when I say I need a mortgage, you say, we're a little smarter than most companies. I like that political answer. All right, I'll shoot you my application in about.
Yeah, I'll get you an application and we'll go from there.
Give me an application. Let's see here. This is funny. Vinny says he was at that BAM also. Vinny, I think that was the BAM. I think I met you at that BAM too. And that's when I think you were at Trimble still, I want to say. And we met at the bar and we hung out. And like, that was my first time really getting to know you. Man, that BAM was so amazing. Everybody's hopping on the Vinny cooking train here to taste test. Sandra's selflessly going to taste test Vinny's cooking. Tanya's also in on that. We're going to have we're going to put people like in all four corners of Vinny's backyard and let them taste the food. on location here. We actually have a serious question here, quasi-serious. We're not too serious on the show. Throw your questions. If you got questions on mortgage, you got questions on expat finance, we're going to dive into some of those other things. And we're also going to explore the depths of the Kevin Costner canon. But anyway, first, Janet says, are you the only credit union in the relocation space?
I would love to say yes. There's nobody else. I believe there are a few other ones. In fact, I know of a couple that are in the space. Credit unions typically are going to be a little smaller community charter type institutions. You do have a few that are rather large and serve a certain employee base. We happen to be, I believe, the 7th largest in the country right now. A lot of our base of business is that tech market. So we partner with over 1,400 companies. Because of that, in that tech sector, we definitely wanted to put a relocation program together. But to answer your question, Janet, I do know of at least another credit union that is in this space. But I think it's going to be a little bit more rare to have your average credit union be playing in this space.
Janet, I do know this. They're the only credit union that's buying 8 random winners a bottle of wine on this show. For a fact,
We got our priorities straight.
Stats and research just came back with that one. Okay, I got some questions about expat finances. Right, I've never been an expat, but I hear about this all the time when I talk to my immigration friends, when I talk to my global mobility managers. What are some of the most common challenges that expats face when they come to the United States in terms of financial challenges?
I think you can be micro and you can be macro with that answer. I think what I've seen and just my time working hand in hand with these folks for a handful of years, they're very, very interested. The actual transferee is interested in building credit. They want to know if they're here for a long time. They want to know about that mortgage as well. But getting credit up and running, a lot of them have been removed from a country where they possibly had impeccable credit in their own way. So they come here, and I think, typically being treated like someone with no credit history, you're subject to some pretty high rates and not a lot of limits. So if you're transferring some engineer who makes $200,000 a year, and he makes the decision to move over here, you got to have a product for that person. So I think credit from their standpoint is one of the bigger factors, and I think from an employer's from an employee perspective, I think getting that checking account open for them before they've moved here, so that they can get payroll in order, get some finances straight, so that they have some money here waiting converted when they do land here in the United States. From an employer's perspective, I think that the checking account is one of the most important pieces.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? You're working your whole life, you're a professional, you got a great job, you come over here, and then all of a sudden you're like starting from scratch. I mean, you're not, because you got a great job here, but you have no record, right? And it's like, so that's so interesting. I mean, so we got great. Go ahead.
Just going to say, if you think about it, as much as we are in business to help these members of ours, these transferees, we have an obligation to our employer partners. We're a seg chartered credit union, which means we partner with organizations and then we can help their employees. So as much as it's for the actual end result, that transferee, we're also doing it for our segs. They want to operate a certain way. So a Microsoft or an Intel or an Amazon, a Hewlett Packard, they have a business model, and it means bringing in global talent. So we have a product and a product suite that makes that ask a little bit easier for them by bringing these people over here and not getting them subject to those higher rates and no credit and all that kind of stuff.
Vinny's saying, and they are great.
Thank you, Vinny.
Everybody seems to love you, Bryan. What is it about you, man, that everybody just seems to love you, man? You notice that?
Yeah. I'll take it, and I love it. And I'll tell you, just jumping into this industry on in the global mobility, the sector, the arena, whatever you want to call it, over the last couple of years, I've had some people that I've really leaned on, because from First Tech's perspective, we didn't really have anyone out there on that scene so much before this position that I took here. So a lot of it's been kind of getting some traction and leaning out. And Benny's one of those people that I've asked many questions to. John Habenek is someone I've asked a lot of questions to. And William Taylor, Katie Rudnick. There's a few people that have really, really helped. I'm probably missing people that I, just tell them, I'm learning and I want to learn fast. I'm in business development like you are. And I don't want to wait around for much, but I know I need to know some stuff. And some of these folks that have been in this business for 5, 10, 15, 20 years understand so much about how this business runs and who the players are. And some of them have been tremendously helpful in kind of getting me to cut my teeth in on what's going on in this industry. I thank them for that. I appreciate it.
Tremendous mentorship in this business. When you first show up, it can be a little, like you said, close. It can be a little close knit. It can be a little, I described it as cliquish in my talk with Peggy. But once you break in and you're like in the crowd, it's like the warmest feeling. We got some great comments and questions here. We're going to go to your comments and questions right now. Keep them coming. I want to get to all of them. I see you, Tanya, Vinny, Annette. Annette says, how long does it take to establish credit from scratch when somebody gets here?
For a transferee that comes in under our relocation program, the day they get their social security card, they have access to 5 credit lines. One of them's a mortgage, auto loan, line of credit, credit card. So the day they actually produce the social security number, they can get the credit products. But we can get them the deposit products, the checking account and debit card and all that stuff up to 60 days before they get their social.
Is that by their employer co-signing kind of, or how does that? You just do it?
Yeah, it's I want to say it's a secret sauce, but I truly don't know the secret sauce because it comes from our lending division and our lending team. But a lot of it has to do with our relationship with a lot of these segs and the way that they formulate a different type of underwriting process that works for these folks that don't have credit, that are moving here, that have an offer letter, and that if some of these folks are being, if Microsoft, if Intel, if Amazon is investing in these folks to move here, we're going to invest in them as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Leslie says we love Bryan at First State Federal. See what I'm saying? Like, people are just really.
Leslie's great. Leslie reached out to me before ERC in Boston. What was that? A year and a half ago?
Yeah.
And that was my first ERC. It was unbelievably cool. And Leslie was one of the first people I met out there. We met at the, I think, happy hour and had a few drinks. I think, Josh Hyatt showed up. It's just a cool group. I love the interaction and what you get when you are traveling around face to face. I mean, this is great. And what you've done for us on this platform is huge. But I mean, I think everyone loves these people chiming in. We love seeing each other. And, the first year on this circuit, I was kind of that guy hanging out on the side and waiting for someone to ask me to dance. Second year, I have some people and friends that I've met, and I see it just growing and steamrolling, and I love it. And I want so badly to get back into that scene where we're doing some fun things together, whether it's bowling or just being at a council event or, whatever. I miss that, and I want that badly.
All right, so takeaway, if you see Bryan hanging out, ask him to dance. We've got some serious questions here. Tanya says, for corporate mobility professionals, is there anything we should be aware of in regards to banking regulation changes coming in 2021 that would impact our employees positively or negatively?
It's a great question, Tanya.
Tanya's always so thoughtful with her questions. Like, gosh, yeah. I'm buying you time right now to really think about it.
Yeah, really? Can I?
So sweet. Let me give you 100 words about Tanya real quick.
Let me phone a friend. No, I haven't had anything come by my desk or on my team about regarding mobility professionals. I do know that, with regards to the visa and the extension through March, I mean, there's some stuff we're waiting on there. So to answer your question, Tanya, I don't know, and I haven't heard anything in that regard. If anyone else on the call has heard anything, please chime in. But I'll tell you, one of the questions that I'd like to ask somebody like yourself, Ben, or even you, Tanya, because of your experience in this industry, is if things, expire at the end of March, as far as a visa ban, when do you see uh, volumes turning on? And I know they probably won't reach the extent they were before COVID, but I would love to ask the audience that question in your respective, realms. When do you see things starting to turn on, and when do you see them fully opened up? And will it be like that again? That'd be a cool if people could chime in. I'd love to know that.
Yeah, so throw that in the comments right now. If you're watching right now, Vinny, Jamie, Annette, Tanya, I mean, John, everybody out there, I throw it in the comments here. Let's take a quick little poll. When do you see, just throw a month in there, or a year, God forbid, throw a month or a year in there, and let us know. And then also, if there's a caveat to that, like US domestic or France, maybe like a month and like a region that you're in, just so we have some context there, because I think it's a little different based on where we're at.
Sure.
Tanya, I'm going to answer your question here with a theory of my own. And Bryan, you tell me. This is a segment we like to call Ben, You're Crazy. Okay. I'm going to throw this theory out there, and I want you to tell me either, hey, that sounds good, or Ben, You're Crazy. All right. So the CARES Act came along, right, to help us out of COVID, right, along with the PPP and all the stuff, right, the relief. And the CARES Act said, I believe, that you can get 180 days of a forbearance on your mortgage, which could be converted to a deferment, i.e., you don't have to pay your mortgage, and they'll essentially either work out a payment plan or bang, put it on the back end, right? Which is like, sweet, free money. Highly recommend people take advantage of that if you haven't already, because that's but you get, and then there's another 180-day extension, I believe. I think you get up to 12 months of that total all-in benefit. Again, take advantage of it if you've been impacted. And it doesn't negatively impact your credit score, which is super awesome, and you don't have to pay a mortgage. But you only get 12 months of it. And so if you were impacted in March, April, May, June, I took it in July, actually. I took it in July. I got a 25% pay decrease, and I took it, right? But you only get 12 months of that. So if you took it middle of the year in 2020, your 12 months is going to expire May, June, July, whatever, of 2021. Is that going to impact the mortgage market, the housing market, supply and demand? Are people going to be coming off of a mortgage holiday? I mean, I'm calling it a mortgage holiday, i.e., you don't have to pay a mortgage, and saying, gosh, I can't afford my mortgage of X because my business just never came back. I'm an entrepreneur. My business went out of business. My pay never was restored to the level it was pre-COVID, whatever. And are we going to see people putting their houses up for sale? Because right now it is a seller's market out there. I'll tell you firsthand experience. Prices are super high right now. A lot of it also has to do with interest rates being super low. But are we going to see some impact to the housing market? And are you hearing anything about CARES Act or any of that stuff?
I'm not, but I think common sense, Ben, they develop these programs to help folks out. They're not going to get to help everybody. Some people who are out of work are not going back and won't be back before that extension hits. So I think naturally you'll see some. I think you're going to see a lot less than if they didn't have that CARES Act, but I have no question that you'll see some effect to it, and it'll probably be in that housing market. And it's a good call out because there's a lot of sectors, at least in and around me, where there are folks, friends, neighbors of mine down the street that haven't been working in 9 or 10 months, and they're not going back anytime soon, depending on if they're in the food industry or the retail space, and it's not essential. So you have people that are hurt. Unfortunately for me, working for a bank, it is considered essential. And I mentioned earlier, my wife works for First Tech as well. So we were very fortunate, but there's a lot of folks, like I said, up and down the street and in the kids' school and on the teams, that aren't as fortunate, and they've been hurting for a long time. And they could be people that are impacted like that. When they said that they don't get employed and have the ability to pay out before that thing expires. So it's a great call out, and I think you're right.
All right, that's been another segment of Ben, You're Crazy. I'd love to hear your thoughts too in the comments on that. If you're seeing anything, if you touch real estate out there, and you have any insight into that, or you just want to recklessly speculate. That's what the show's all about. Put it in the comments there. And, hey, we're just having fun, right? Let's see. Jamie's got another great question as people begin to answer the question of when are we opening back and what region are you in when you make that prediction. Leave those in the comments. But until then, Jamie has a question. With all of the government spending and proposals for huge spending and printing, yeah, we've been doing a lot of spending, a lot of printing. Do you expect to see the dollar devalue to high inflation and interest rates? We all want to know about interest rates, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think that's realistic. We are doing some huge spending, and there is some huge printing taking place, and I don't think it's done. Now, I'm not an economist, but I do keep my ear down, and I keep listening and staying in tune as I can. And I don't think it's done. I think what Jamie's saying there is very believable and could be a reality.
Yeah, so help me understand, because here I am, and I care about global mobility, but I also care about my own personal mortgage in a year from now, okay? What are my interest rates going to look like a year from now, you think? Higher, lower, same?
No, a year from now, I don't think that you're going to see much different. I don't believe that. I don't think you've seen too much change. I mean, historically, if you go back 30, 40 years, we've been in a great shape with interest rates for many years now, and I don't see anything changing that on a drastic level in the next year. That's my opinion. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see too much different than what you're seeing now. But who knows? Something could happen. There's something very easily a world impact. Something can impact the world and make things happen and change. And we've seen that over the course of our lifetime, whether it's big events like 9/11 or pandemics. I mean, there's things that can happen that could switch things on a dime. So no one can ever tell. But I would bet that you're not going to see much movement.
We're here with Bryan Rivers from First Tech Federal Credit Union, and Annette has tossed in her entry for wine. Don't forget, go ahead and register. It's the 8 weeks of giving, sponsored by First Tech Federal Credit Union. Go to loveandrelo.com/community in order to enter to win. Can we get that up there? And let's also go ahead and do a little shout out for our friends and sponsors at First Tech Federal Credit Union. Let's see here. First Tech is your financial partner for relocation banking solutions. We help ease the burden of your employees' move with relocation products and services to ensure their journey is financially seamless, and you, mobility professionals, may win some wine. So go ahead and check out that. Go ahead and put your name into the hat at loveandrelo.com/community. That is love and spelled out, reload.com/community. This is so cool. I'm so excited to be giving out wine to people. I love doing things for people. I appreciate that you have a heart like that too. Super stoked about it.
Who doesn't really you get it delivered? I mean, it's getting delivered. I had something delivered from an event I attended a couple months ago now, but I had forgotten they were sending wine. So I'm just sitting here, on virtual call after virtual call, and someone knocks on the door with the wine here in California. You got to sign for it. So it was like the coolest interruption of my day that I've ever had. So
when that doorbell rings and it's not another toy from Amazon for my kids, that's a win. I don't care what's in the box. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's for dad. Oh, it's for dad. Really? Great. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and check before we get to our top 5, which is going to be a lot of fun today. Let's go ahead and check in with everybody and see when we are getting back to normal, if ever. Jamie Master says, from all the meetings and webinars I have participated in, the end of the second quarter is projected for business to pick up. Okay, Jamie's in corporate housing out of Mississippi. Thank you, Jamie.
That's great to know, and that's kind of what I've been hearing as well, Jamie. But it's great to hear your perspective and all that good stuff. I hope that happens.
Vinny says it has never turned off. Some of our offices will be closed until June, July, as far as we know. However, if the employee feels comfortable with relocating now, we are supporting them. So offices are closed, but relocation volume is still going on. He says, I would say that most employees are going to wait to relocate closer to the office reopening. Yeah, I've heard a lot of reloads are still on hold. They're on the books, but they're just being held.
Sure.
To a very large company today, and they said that they have like 1,500 reloads.
Wow.
Just chilling.
Just sitting there at the gates, huh?
Just chilling. Imagine you walk in one day and like they decide like to let them go, and then you just like turn on your computer and you're like, what the?
Well, and that's kind of a reality too. I mean, for some of these organizations and some of the people in this business, I think a lot of what they're doing right now, and you tell me your thoughts, Ben, but I think people are planning and prepping for that reality. I mean, that could be a possibility. And then what do you do then? You have to be able to accommodate it. It may be just a sudden rush, but you're going to want to be able to accommodate it. So I think in talking to some folks in the industry that some of the programs are being recalibrated for that potentially to happen. But you're right. I mean, that influx could be big, and it could be monumental, and who knows,
Yeah. Johnny Habanik says optimistically Q3 at earliest. So Q3, what, July, August, September? So Q3? Yeah, July, August, September. Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to be optimistic these days. My dad had to call me and listen, dude, you're more optimistic. But I heard somebody really smart say, because I was a Q2 guy myself. I was a Q2er about 2 weeks ago. I was a Q2er. I got the T-shirt. I got the travel Yeti. It said Q2. But somebody broke it down to me and they said, if 70% of the population has to get the vaccine, and we're doing 1 million vaccines a day is the throughput, and there's 368 million people in the United States, the math would say that's going to take almost a year to do.
Yeah.
And the thing spoils, and there's logistics, and oh, by the way, there's a bunch of people that don't want to get them ever. So how do you get to 70% when a bunch of people don't want to get them ever? And then you have to force people to get them. So I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer.
No, I think you're being a realist, and I think guys and gals in at least in our sector of wanting to go and open those gates and turn them on and make them flow a little bit more. We're optimistic, but I think it's tempered by the other side. That realistically, I would love for things to be popping in Q2 or Q3.
Here's the optimism. Okay, stuff stays kind of locked down and secured, but we learn to live. We learn to live anyway, and we learn to relocate anyway. Kind of the Benny's thing, right? Offices are closed, people are moving. I don't really 100% understand that, but that might be the reality for the next 12 months.
Sure.
And hey, that's that works. And I'll tell you what, mortgage industry, you guys have seen tremendous activity from a refi standpoint. But I'll tell you what, my house sold in one day.
Yeah.
Now a lot of that's because there's not a lot of inventory on the market right now.
Yeah.
But people are buying houses. There's demand right now.
Right, and there's demand in areas that there wasn't demand before because of the new workday and the new work office, and a lot of this virtual stuff. So it's interesting to see that the heat map of where a lot of people that were vying for space in Silicon Valley, who can now take that position from Nevada or Idaho or out here in Sacramento, seeing those hot spots. It's a really interesting climate.
And people are relocating voluntarily. Hello, right? I just said, you know what? I'm quitting my job. I'm starting my own gig, and I'm taking the family. We're moving to Texas.
Yeah.
So there's that going on too, right? So it's really, really interesting right now. Tanya brings up a very thorough point. Let's read it. Our internships will be virtual again this year. We are optimistic that Biden may roll back some of the recent U.S. immigration regulations that are impacting the ability to mobilize our talent. Sidebar. Mm-hmm. It would also be really cool if he rolled back the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, because that included the moving expense deduction in there, which basically made a lot of relocation benefits taxable as income. Sidebar. Also dependent on vaccination rollout, my crystal ball prediction is volume will pick up second half of 2021, but at least for our industry, it probably won't be fully back until 2022. But prediction is that we will be back stronger than ever.
I love that. That's great. And I kind of as much as I want Q2, I think what Tanya's saying is a really realistic viewpoint of things picking back up towards the end of the year. But 2022 will be the banner year, and I love that she ended that with prediction is that we'll be back stronger than ever. And that may be in a different form, like you were just saying, Ben. But that's cool. That's very good
And you know
news.
what? And I'm looking at you, Brian, personally, and your company, and what you're doing, and the way that you're moving in the space right now. Just because I like to watch people, right? I like to watch how companies are marketing themselves, how they're positioning themselves, the relationships, the alliances, the buzz that's out there, right? People always say, "You talk to a lot of people. What are you seeing?" I'm seeing some people are acting with confidence. They're being aggressive. They are being undeterred by their externalities. They're following their internal compass and doing what they know is right, and they're going towards things, and they're gravitating, they're moving with confidence because they know who they are and what they do. And I see you guys doing that. I see I'm doing that. There's companies out there that are doing that. Janet's new employer, Dean Van Lines, is doing that. There are companies out there that are doing that. They're going to win. They're going to win now, and they're going to win huge coming out of this because their share is if you can expand share in a down, what we'll call a down economy or down volume right now, when we catapult out of this thing, you're still going to have that share, and it's like the floodgates are going to be open. So be aggressive right now. If you're watching this right now, here's a piece of optimism for you. Be aggressive right now. Buy cheap, buy low, and catapult out of this thing, okay? And a lot of the stuff that worked before works now. You just got to roll up your sleeves, and you just got to grind, and you got to trust yourself, and be a good person.
I
Okay,
love that, man. That was good.
yeah, I've got fired up.
That got
Fired
me
up,
fired
Brian.
up, man. I'm ready to
Fired up,
go.
baby. I'm fired up, man.
On the
All
phone
right,
and make some calls.
we're gonna cut this short. We're gonna go cold call. All right, here we go. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, but we do actually have a top five. But we got a couple of comments real quick. Henri Dussois, hello from Bordeaux. Interesting discussion going on today. Henri, get my cot ready. I'm coming to Bordeaux. Let's see, John Andrew, Brian, I appreciate you sharing some knowledge to help others in their financial wellness. Henri says, I second what Jamie says from our end in Europe. Very cool. And let's see, Vinny says, I completely agree, Tanya. 2022 will be great for our industry. Miss you, friend. Yeah. And then Tanya says, in response to Vinny, employees are waiting until offices reopen to relocate. Awesome. Well, let's get to the part of the show that I really enjoy. Okay. We're starting to play some games. We're doing some segments. If you haven't tuned in a while, we're having a little more fun on Love and Real, which is actually kind of a scary thing. We're going to do something we call a top five. Here's how the game is played. Brian's going to give me a category. He gets to pick whatever he wants. He's going to give me a top five list, okay? He's going to give me a top five list, and we're going to talk about it. So, Stacey, producer Stacey, put top five Kevin Costner movies. Wow. This made me laugh out loud. When I saw this in my production notes, I'm like, this is a wild dude right here. I like you, man. I like you a lot.
Well, I wanted to be a little original, and I like the guy, and I like a lot of his movies, and I thought it'd be cool to do something maybe outside of mobility and banking. Let's chalk it up a little bit. So yeah, Kevin Costner, he's the guy.
Top five Kevin Costner movies. We may have some debates in here because I've been known to be down with a little Costner. Okay, back in the day. All right, let's go. Number five.
13 Days. A lot of people don't know about this movie, but it's kind of a story about the Cuban Missile Crisis where he plays an advisor to JFK. And I loved it. I thought it was great because I wasn't really around when that happened, but I know it was a big deal here in the country. So watching that from that lens and through that view, I loved it. I'm a history buff as well.
I'm just writing these down here because I gotta, it's Friday night's movie night in the Cross household. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we make the popcorn. We do one with the kid, put him to bed, and then we watch one too. So I want to make sure that we got this in here. Okay. All right. Give me number four.
Wyatt Earp. It's funny that movie came out the same year Tombstone came out. Same story.
Yes.
Yeah, and I look at both of them, and there's certain things I like more in one than the other with characters and the storyline. But I think he played the part so well. It's just kind of a hard knuckle, like don't screw with me type guy, and I thought it was really cool. I like that movie.
Which one was Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday in?
He was in Tombstone and he
That's
killed
right.
it. As far as
That's
Doc
right.
Holliday goes, he won it on that one. He was
Sold that
amazing.
tuberculosis so good.
Oh
I tell
man,
you
he was
what,
great.
man, tuberculosis never looked so good. All right. Number 3.
Untouchables. I caught some flack putting this one at number 3 and not number 1 from my boss Ed Powers. He highly disagreed with me here. But Untouchables had a little bit of another true story, so to speak. Prohibition. Sean Connery's in this one. Elliot Ness. It's a younger one for him. He's younger at this one, and I thought this was a great movie. A young Andy Garcia in this movie. It was good.
Number 2.
Open Range. Have you seen Open Range?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, great Western. Really, really good Western with Robert Duvall in it. Again, kind of plays that Wyatt Earp mentality, kind of a hard grinder, doesn't take much crap from anybody. But yeah, great Western with Robert Duvall in it. Open Range. Check that one out.
Awesome. Number 1.
Dances with Wolves, and this is where me and my boss kind of, we're not seeing eye to eye on this. I love this story. I love everything about it. I think it tells a story and a narrative that's important, to our history. And I think this movie took 7 years to make, and I think he directed it as well.
Took 7 years to watch. Okay.
That's true.
I started watching this one night with my cousin. I don't know what we were doing. I swear I was like in high school or college. I don't know why we were watching this. I don't know what we were on, but we were 2 a.m. We started watching Dances with Wolves. I swear to God, I saw the sun come up. Okay. Dances with Wolves is the longest movie.
You are right. It is.
Okay.
It is. It's a long one, but that's my number 1.
Well, all right. We're gonna have to. You know what? This wasn't in production. This is just freestyling off the top because you made it too easy on me. Okay. Let me tell you, Bryan Rivers. I love the category. Some of these are all right. This as well as also sleeper, by the way. We're gonna have a new top 5. It's gonna be top 5 best Kevin Costner movies that Bryan Rivers didn't name.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, I just wrote these down. Okay,
you say Waterworld, Ben. We're gonna have issues.
This is off the dome. Waterworld was the biggest flop at the box office in box office history. This is off the dome. This is my Eminem Detroit freestyle of Kevin Costner.
I'm writing this down.
Okay. Number 5, Robin Hood. Robin Hood with Morgan Freeman. Robin Hood.
I'm going to challenge you one thing on that movie when you watch it again, okay? He starts the movie off with an accent. He ends the movie without one. It didn't qualify. I love the story, though. I
can't argue that point. But Morgan Freeman, forget an accent. Morgan Freeman in that, and then that soundtrack was just epic. What is it with Kevin Costner movies and soundtracks? Which brings me to
Bryan Adams.
4.
Yeah. Okay.
The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard.
Okay.
Houston, The Bodyguard.
That's your top 5, huh?
Best soundtrack of all time. Of all time.
This is awesome.
And Vogue's on it. Okay. Number 3. Bull Durham.
Ooh, that's a great one. Yes, you're right. Bull Durham's a good one. It's really good.
Bro, hello.
Yeah.
Can we get Bryan a breathalyzer? Bull Durham out the top 5 right now? Come on, pull him over. Slow him down. Number 2. Number 2 is JFK.
I haven't seen that. I need to see it. It's one of the only ones I have not seen.
You saw the movie about a guy JFK, but you haven't seen JFK.
Yeah, I know. I started it. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to watch it. Okay, so JFK, I'm gonna give you that one in Bull Durham. What else?
Riveting performance.
Okay.
Also super long. Okay. Number 1, Field of Dreams.
Yeah, I watched that last night, actually. Great movie.
You watched it last night. You had a chance. You had your opportunity, Bryan Rivers, to change it.
Yeah. I stuck with it. I'll give you Bull Durham and JFK. I got the thing. The jury's out on. I got to check it out. I'll make sure I do that for you. But This was a fun topic, I'll tell you
This
that.
was great. This was like one of my favorite topics that I've ever had on the show. Not because like I'm a huge Costner fan. He's good. He's solid. He's solid. But just it was so original, man. It was so much fun. It's such a meaty topic too. And there are no wrong answers. I think we've proven that today. No, but this was fun. Bryan, this was excellent. Hey, everybody that tuned in today, this is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like button. Throw a little heart out there. Hey, let's do a vote real quick. In the comments, did you like Bryan's top 5 better or my top 5 better? Throw it in there. Let us know. Hit that like button. Send a little heart out there to Callie for Bryan. Don't forget to go on the 8 weeks of giving. Register at loveandrelo.com/community, sponsored by First Tech Federal Credit Union. We're drawing every Friday. We're giving a bottle of wine away for the next 2 months. Every Friday. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait. Bryan, you want to just close this kind of with a final thought, maybe?
I just want to say thanks, man. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. What you've done in the last few months with this show, and the steps and the boldness that you're coming out with and taking, I'm a huge fan. You have a lot of other huge fans, and I appreciate the partnership with you. And I wish you nothing but the best on your new venture, because I know it's daunting and it's got its own trials and tribulations, I'm sure. But thank you very much for having me on, and I'm excited to partner with you and look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, Bryan, this is a lot of fun, dude. You're a great sport, man. A lot of fun, and thank you so much again for supporting the community and First Tech Federal Credit Union for stepping up and sponsoring this wine giveaway. I love this platform because I love helping people, right, and having fun doing it, and you're right in step with that, dude. And it's so nice to partner with you on this. So thanks to everybody that tuned in today. Have a great weekend. Next week, really important announcement. We only have 2 shows next week because I'm going to Texas. I'm doing my house hunting trip. We're on Tuesday and we're on Thursday. We got 2 great corporate mobility experts. So stay tuned for their names. 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. I will be broadcasting from somewhere else every day. That's Relo, right? Hey, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a blessed weekend. Hope you guys have a relaxing time with your families out there. And Bryan, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.